Hard Rockology Show, music from Copenhagen. That's in Denmark, Matt, in case you don't know your geography. The song is called Wake Up from the awesome Mr. Powerwolf. And if you were asleep before the song played, well, you're up now. And that's some great guitar playing. And one of the guys responsible for it, we have on the phone from Denmark, bassist Randy Tesla, a.k.a. Nicholas Randy Jorgensen. Welcome to the show, Randy.
Thank you, Mike.
So you guys have a brand new EP out. You want to tell us a little bit about that and how you guys all got together to make this great record?
Yeah, sure thing. Well, we started the band around 2008, and well, this is actually our first official release, and we made it at the beginning of 2012, about I think January or December. It's taken us about, I think, 2 months to record the whole thing. And yeah, so it's out now, and it's available to download if you like.
Now, Randy, I have to ask, I know the band's been around since about 2008. I know the two original members, which would be Jonathan and, what's the singer's name, Rasmus?
Yes, that's right. But Jonathan, he was not an original member, but he was one of the other members who came in later. The two original members are, as you said, Rasmus, our vocalist, and our other guitar player called Simon.
Okay, so I have to ask, because I know they pretty much were kind of on a lull, and I know they replaced pretty much the whole band, and they brought in the three new members, which you were one of them. So what was that process like? I mean, because originally, I mean, there was pretty much nothing from the band for a good 4 years, and then all of a sudden you guys regrouped, got the new members in the band, and released, like I said, these 4 tracks. So was the three guys coming into the band the catalyst to basically get the band kick-started and going?
Yeah, definitely. I would say. Well, the story goes like this. The two original members, they had seen the last show by a band called the Helicopters in Denmark, and after that concert, they decided to, like, play this type of music, and they had played in Powerwolf, but it wasn't anything serious. So when the time came, they called a couple friends. And after they called us, the whole thing just started to roll very fast, I'd say.
Now, I will ask this. Now, the 4-track EP, were a lot of those songs already pre-written before you guys joined the band? Or when you guys joined the band, did you guys sit there and start the writing process up again and come up with those 4 songs? Because the 4 tracks that are on this EP, my brother will say the same thing, is probably some of the best music we've heard in the past couple years. So I want to say congratulations for that. But were these some of the songs that were held over from the original members in the band? Or did you guys all come together and write these 4 tracks?
First, thank you for the compliments. The only, I'd say, part that was pre-written was the lead for the song "Wake Up," the title track of the EP, and some parts of the rhythm. But actually, all the 4 songs, they were written together. So there was nothing that was pre-written besides the "Wake Up" part.
The band draws from a lot of influences from like the 70s sound of like hard rock, say like Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple. Is that fair to say that that's a lot of where the influences came from for your band?
Yeah, definitely. And I'd have to add to that that the Helicopters and of course Lucifer and Kvelertak, like all these Scandinavian rock bands, they also were part of the inspirational sources.
Yeah, that's one band I never understood. They were so good, but they just never caught on here in America, as the Helicopters. You mentioned that twice, and you actually played bass in that band, correct?
No, I didn't play bass in that band, but I wish I had. Yeah, it's funny. I don't understand how they didn't break through in America, because they were really, I think, quintessential rock bands in our modern day and age.
And you can definitely hear some of the influences from the Helicopters music into the awesome Mr. Powerwolf, right, Matt?
Yeah, I definitely hear a lot of influences there. So I will ask this: a curious name, Austin Mr. Powerwolf. How did you guys come up with that name, and what's the story behind that actual name? Because it's a pretty unique name and interesting in and of itself.
Yeah, well, our guitarist and our singer, they came up with it with the former members. So I wasn't there when the name was created, but if I remember correctly, our past drummer, he was very fascinated by the animal wolf, and he found it to be a very strong animal, and the guys they always worked hard and always played power rock. So the power and the wolf they kind of stuck together suddenly, and then they added the awesome Mister as to make an acronym, which then would spell AMP as in the gear they used. So it was kind of a jokey way of creating a name.
Now, you guys are now playing live. I know you guys started playing together as a group in late December last year. So what kind of response are you getting from the fans in Denmark and around the general area to Awesome Mr. Powerwolf?
I think that most people have been pretty glad to see a band play this type of rock and roll. There's a lot of good rock and roll in Denmark, but I just think that this particular part of rock and roll has been missing for quite some years. So I think during our 8 concerts, people have been definitely positive towards our music.
Well, another big band from Denmark, Volbeat. I mean, do you think they've opened the doors to a lot of the hard rock bands on the music scene in that country right now?
Yeah, I think that putting Denmark on the map to a certain degree, because I don't think many people know bands from Denmark, and Volbeat is like one of the current big bands, I think, that are being exporting from Denmark, if you could say so.
Now, being that you guys have only been together for a short period of time, I'm assuming you guys are playing full sets. Now, is there some more songs also in your catalog that you guys are playing live that hopefully will be released sometime in the near future?
Yeah, we're currently actually working on getting some of the tracks that we're playing in our sets recorded and released. But I can't really say when that's going to happen, because right now we've been changing our practice space, and it's been taking a lot of time. But we're finally coming over that hurdle, so I think soon we'll be able to record some new stuff again.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to hearing some new stuff, because those 4 tracks have left me and my brother wanting some more from you guys.
Yeah, I need more. I need Awesome Mr. Powerwolf. I mean, the 4 songs are that great. I mean, I listened to them again before we went on air, and I mean, I just love the guitar playing. The whole mix of the whole sound you guys are creating kind of takes me back to like I said earlier, the 70s, right, Matt? And there's not a lot of bands that are making their music sound like that. It's kind of like a lot of the new bands have that compressed sound, but this, like you mentioned to me, Matt, off air, sounds like that you guys did it on an analog tape almost.
Yeah. Well, a funny story actually. The EP or the guy who did the mastering, he was almost. I wouldn't say he was a perfectionist, but he was very precise in helping us, like getting this analog sound, because we had expressed our wishes to like achieve this sound. So it's kind of cool that you can hear it, and it really, I think I'm speaking for the whole band. It really warms our heart to hear that some people are liking the music.
Now take us into a little bit of the writing process. Now, when you guys are writing your songs, is it more of like a jam session? You guys each bring something to the table and you guys start jamming it out, and the song gets constructed that way, or is the song pretty much already written and you guys go into the studio, or does each member of the band bring something different to the making of the songs?
It's a bit hard to say, and then again, it's quite simple. As you mentioned, we jam a lot, and like most of our stuff, our riffs, they come through these jams, and we're a democratic band, so we always write together, and there's always someone who comes with an idea. It could be our drummer who says like, oh yeah, how about this vocal melody or this guitar riff, and so there are always a lot of ideas swung through the room when we jam, and then there are some more complex riffs, I would say, or writings that we sometimes have to prepare to maximize in the practice rehearsal, because otherwise it would take too much time. But mostly it's a pretty intense jam that takes a couple of hours, and then suddenly we got a riff.
Now, one of the original songs that the band originally done back in 2008 actually released a demo. Let's Make It a Friday. Do you guys plan on going back into the studio and properly redoing that song and releasing it maybe for a future release?
Yeah, definitely. Let's Make It a Friday is one of the songs that is very dear to our hearts. It's like it is the first Awesome Mr. Powerwolf song ever written, and we think it has like everything a good rock song needs. So you'll definitely be hearing that song sooner or later.
So Randy, how long have you been playing bass for? And when you first started out, who was like one of your biggest influences?
Well, I think being a big Led Zeppelin fan, John Paul Jones and Steve Harris from Iron Maiden. I've been playing bass for about 2 years now. I was originally a guitar player, but I've always admired the more melodic bass players, like Paul McCartney or bassists who really dare to venture out.
So was the transition smooth from guitar to bass, or did you have to like pretty much learn a whole other instrument all over again?
Well, at the beginning it was a bit difficult, but I think it took 2 weeks, and it was like playing.
2 weeks, Matt. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, no big deal, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks is an eternity over there in Denmark. So.
Yeah.
No, we also have to ask you too. I mean, we found out your influences. What was some of the first albums you bought, or the first album that you bought when you had an opportunity to buy your first album?
Oh, that's a great question. Let's see if I can remember. I think my first real album that I bought with a conscious decision as a rock fan. Oh man, it must have been. Let's see. I think it must have been either Black Sabbath, volume number 4. Or I think the Rolling Stones album, Data Bankhead. I'm not quite sure.
All right, well, I'll ask you a different question. Maybe a question you can remember even better. What was the first real hard rock concert that you actually had a chance to go see?
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. That was Children of Bodom in 2008 in Copenhagen. It's kind of a funny story. There weren't any rock bands like playing at that time space, and not any bands that I liked anyway. So there was Children of Bodom, which is a metal act. And even though it's quite late, one of my friends he asked me to go, and I said yeah, sure. And it was an amazing concert. They totally ripped it on stage.
What can people expect going to an Awesome Mr. Powerwolf show?
I think a lot of energy and a lot of good humor when it comes to performance. I think we are very old school when it comes to playing. We are not very how do you say staged or anything. It's pretty raw when it comes to that.
So it's not really like a flashy stage show. It's just like stripped down, just straight ahead rock and roll in your face kind of music, right?
Yeah, it's just fat solos and loud drums and a crazy singer playing loud music, basically.
So where can people find out, Randy, about Awesome Mr. Powerwolf?
Well, we're on YouTube and we're on Facebook. You can check us out on awesomemrpowerwolf.com as well. We've got a new website. And I think that should be it. I think we've also got a new Twitter account. So yeah, just if you type the name in on Google, you'll probably find us.
It's simple enough, right, Matt? Just Awesome Mr. Powerwolf, Google it, boom. All the places that you can find this band are right there in front of you. Okay, Randy, we got one more question, then we'll let you go. And one of the questions we always ask on the Hard Rockology show, you've been playing bass guitar for quite a while. I'm sure you've had a Spinal Tap moment here and there, right?
Oh, yeah. I've had some.
You got to share the best one with us right now.
Well, I guess that the most Spinal Tapish moment, it must have been our not our last concert, but the concert before that. We played a stage that was so small that, well, basically our drummer, he was hitting me with his sticks all the time. So every time he was hitting me, I was like pushed forward. So I hit our guitar player constantly, which kind of made him, play the wrong notes. So it was kind of a weird evil cycle we had going on stage. It was,
I can't even imagine that.
Weird.
I can't even imagine that. You got 4 guys in the band and the stage isn't big enough, and all of a sudden everybody's getting pushed around on the stage by themselves, and it's like, I would have loved to have seen that show.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Well, when you're preparing for a show, some people get nervous and some people don't. I'm one of the persons who gets or tends to get quite nervous. So I think I've also kicked the cables out from a guitar player's amplifier and stuff like that. It's pretty ridiculous.
All right, and another question I have to ask, because you guys are over there in Denmark, Copenhagen. What's the drink of choice for you guys in the band? What do you guys drink when you guys are partying and having a good time over there?
Oh, definitely beer. Tuborg or Carlsberg. I can't count how many we've already drunk of those beers. But it varies. But yeah, there's no contest.
I'm just saying, so when you guys make it over here to the States and make it over to L.A., because I think you guys are definitely going to make it over here if you guys keep playing the way you guys are playing and releasing this type of material.
We need to know what beer to buy, right, man?
Yeah, we just need to know what to get you guys. So beer's not a problem, so you guys will be taken care of when you guys get to L.A.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it sounds great, man.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and say thank you for joining the Hard Rockology show. And why don't you go ahead and introduce another track off your debut EP? And why don't you go ahead and introduce that track and take us out of the segment?
Yeah, thank you for having the interview. And if I had to choose a track, I'd say "Busy Wasting Time," the last track. It's a great rock song with a lot of catchy riffs and catchy hooks and a great vocal melody. It's got all the right ingredients for good rocking time.
All right, so why don't we go ahead and take out this interview with a brand new track from Mr. Powerwolf. This is off their Wake Up EP. Track's called "Busy Wasting Time."